Our story begins in a certain mansion deep within the mountains. Inside the mansion is a small crowd of people gathered around the center, as an elder announces the news that Prince Yi Xian, the third-generation prince of the Yi family, is now dethroned to his position and that Yi Lang is now the new prince. The reason for his dethronement is due to his lack of talent and merit. The crowd of people celebrates the news. Yet, among the crowds, a shout of dissatisfaction was heard. This person is the sister of the dethroned prince. She questions why his brother is being dethroned when he fought for their family's mining rights in Nanshan. She confronts the elder for making some baseless excuse to remove his brother from his position. The words of the girl are met with negative responses from the crowd. She argues that his brother risked his life for the family, so it is not fair for him to be treated like this. One of the men slaps the girl in the face and Yi Lang calls her out for disrespecting the elder in public, threatening her to be imprisoned for 30 years as a punishment. He orders his man to punish the girl for disturbing the ancestral hall, and the man drags the girl using her hair. Suddenly, a threatening shout was heard at the entrance of the gate. And from there, Yi Xian punches the guy who was dragging his sister. Yi Xian places his feet on the head of the already unconscious man, but Yi Lang confronts him for hurting his man. Yi Xian replies by squashing the head of the unconscious man, threatening everyone that no matter who it is, if they hurt his sister, they'll eventually be sent to hell in no time. With a concerned look, Yi Lang questions the situation on why Yi Xian is here when he already sent someone to kill him. The old man is angered by Yi Xian's action and prepares for an attack. Both blows collide as we see Yi Xian being pushed back a little. In the scene of the battle, the crowd is surprised that the difference in power between the combatant is very small despite the huge gap in their cultivation level. The old man is also surprised by Yi Xian's power, recognizing his strength. Yi Xian questions the elder for his decision of dethroning him. The elder reveals that Yi Lang is a newly awakened chosen one and that he is the rightful heir of the family. Yi Xian is taken aback by the elder's revelation. The chosen ones are those favored by heaven and earth, and there are only less than 10 of them in the entire Jiang kingdom. Yi Xian challenges Yi Lang, stating that since Yi Lang is the new prince, he will be unable to refuse the challenge. Yi Lang accepts the challenge, but he wants them to fight in the life or death arena. Yi Lang questions Yi Xian if he still dares. With a smile, Yi Xian agrees with confidence. Yi Lang notices it and questions if Yi Xian is not afraid of death or just confident in killing him. Yi Lang announces that the fight will be held in 1 month and everyone will be watching it. Yi Xian agrees and leaves the scene while carrying his weakened sister. The elder questions Yi Lang if he is confident in defeating Yi Xian. He replies that after 1 month of awakening his soul, no one will be his match in Qingcheng. Moments later, Yi Xian checks on his sister. She asked her brother why he accepted the life-or-death battle with Yi Lang. Yi Xian assures his sister that he will win and that they won't be able to bully her anymore. The sister blames herself for being a burden, but Yi Xian just tells her to go to sleep. After leaving his sister, Yi Xian loosens his upper garment, revealing a wound on his stomach. We are sent back to his recent memory where among the bloody corpses, we see Yi Xian asking one of the assassins about the person who sent them. The assassin laughs at Yi Xian's situation as he reveals that even if he is killed, Yi Xian will forever be a waste as his dantian is already ruined. Back in the present time, Yi Xian realizes that the assassins were probably sent by the elders. With a bloody finger, he takes out a ring from his garment while assuring his mother that he will protect his sister as well as cure her illness. The ring reacts to his blood and then suddenly, he is standing up in front of a large tower with a menacing aura around it. Yi Xian opens the door without hesitation, revealing a seated skeleton, a sword, and a bloody writing on the floor, explaining that the skeleton is the heavenly sword master and that he has been locked up for more than 1,000 years. His only hope is that the inheritor will take care of the heavenly sword sect. Yi Xian is confident that he can kill Yi Lang once he perfects the sword technique that was left behind. A female voice informs him that with his broken dantian, he won't be able to inherit the legacy. The female examines Yi Xian and realizes why the boundless tower chose him. She informs him that he has an excellent talent, but his dantian is destroyed, which means that he needs to practice in another way. The female suggested a technique that will allow him to use his sword as a substitute. He will be able to bring the world to its knees if he can develop a sword body. She asks Yi Xian if he wants to learn the technique. Yi Xian questions her reason for helping him. She reveals that it is because he is the new lord of the tower. She also needs his help to retrieve the 9 Tao principles of the tower that is scattered in the celestial sky realm. The more he retrieves, the stronger he will become. Moreover, he will be able to control the most powerful beings in the tower. If he fails to collect them all, the seal might shatter and the strongest being will be free, which might result in his death. Yi Xian realizes that his discovery of the tower is both a blessing and a curse. He inquires about the 3 swords at the top of the tower and if they can be used for practice. She reveals that those swords are too powerful, and if he is not afraid of death, then he can use them. She takes the sword of the skeleton and tells him that the sword has been trapped for many years and has lost all of its spiritual power. Despite that, it is still very dangerous to absorb it into his dantian. With Yi Xian's resolve to never gonna give you up, and to protect his sister, he agrees to absorb the sword. The female assures him that he won't die since she will protect him. Remembering his sister, he resolves to absorb it all. In the 3rd chapter, we see the 2 elders as they talk about Yi Xian's broken dantian, which was confirmed by the survivor of the Li family. The white-haired elder talks about Yi Xian's daringness to fight in a life or death with a broken dantian. He wants to take the opportunity to show off Yi Lang and harm Yi Xian's sister. In a room, we see Yi Xian as he wakes up from sleep. He realizes that he is now in the 6th grade of the Qi refinement realm. With wounds all around her, his sister calls out to him, informing him that he has been sleeping for 3 days. Agitated by her state, Yi Xian inquires about the identity of the person who harmed her. She revealed that it was the kitchen chef who also gave them rotten food. While holding her hand, they went out to avenge his sister. Later on, Yi Xian located the chef along with an elder. The chef informs Yi Xian that the elder is going to betroth his sister to his ugly ass. Yi Xian punches the bastard and cuts off his hand for hitting his sister. The elder intervenes as he prepares to punch, ordering Yi Xian to kneel. Yi Xian explodes in anger at the elder's audacity to betroth his sister to the scum. As their fists collide, the elder's sleeve gets torn, and the elder is sent flying due to the force of Yi Xian's punch. The elder is in disbelief while Yi Xian places his foot on the elder's head. As he is about to squash the elder, he is interrupted by the white-haired elder, who questions Yi Xian's loyalty to the family for daring to kill an elder. His sister panics at the sight of the elders, but Yi Xian assures her. Yi Xian answers the elder that he is feeling rebellious and questions the great elder if he also wants to fight. Yi Lang interjects by declaring that they should be the ones fighting. The great elder along with the crowd praises Yi Lang for reaching the Qi transformation realm in just a few days. Yi Lang pretends to be humbled by downplaying himself. Yi Xian walks away not wanting to waste his time with the fake scene. The great elder was about to call him back, but Yi Lang stops him. Yi Lang smiles maliciously as he lets Yi Xian enjoy his remaining time. Inside the ring, Yi Xian is being taught by his new master about a hidden golden body state between Qi transformation and Qi control realms, which most people are not aware of. She explains that in this state, he will be able to double his strength if he cultivates his physical body. He agrees to follow this method and she teaches him how to cultivate his physical body. Moments later, a huge beam of light that reaches the sky is seen erupting from the household of the Yi family. At this moment, Yi Xian is preoccupied with his meditation. Unknown to him, his master is praising him for his talent, which is comparable to that of a monster. The master also mentions that the golden body is something that can lead to visions of heaven and earth. Thinking that the vision was caused by Yi Lang, the members of the Yi family kneels to thank the heaven and earth. On the other hand, Yi Lang questions how the vision occurred since he already broke through an hour ago. He assures himself that it was him, knowing that in the Yi family, no one else is capable of doing that. After his meditation, Yi Xian received a huge boost in power, causing him to be overconfident. Fortunately, his master realigned his view to the right path. Yi Xian inquires his master if she has a solution to his sister's disease, and she replies that she can solve it, but it would only be possible if Yi Xian is able to bring his sister inside the ring. Yi Xian concludes that he should go immediately to the capital after dealing with Yi Lang. While having a rest, Yi Xian is informed by his sister about the celebration among the clan for Yi Lang's attainment that caused the vision of heaven and earth. Yi Xian disregards the news and assures his sister that he will win the battle regardless of the circumstances. Yi Xian invited his sister for a walk, and while walking on the street, his sister caught the attention of a woman in a familiar garment. Outside the city walls, a beautiful woman is seen riding a horse. She confirms that this is the place where a vision of heaven and earth occurred. While enjoying their time, the entrance of a person whose name is On Langshu has caught the attention of the crowd as well as his sister. On Langshu, Jianggo's first genius, and the youngest scholar in the country, was the first student to be invited by the headmaster of Kongmu Academy, as well as the first from the youngest generation of Jianggo to ever reach the celestial sky realm. Among the crowd, Yi Xian gets the attention of Langshu, who notices his hidden golden body state that can cause a vision of heaven and earth. She challenges Yi Xian, mistaking him for Yi Lang. Laner informs Langshu that she got the wrong person, but they belong to the same household, so she offers to go together. Despite that, Langshu insisted on challenging Yi Xian. He agrees on to the challenge, but she has to wait for 2 days. Langshu doesn't think that Yi Xian is qualified to make her wait. Yi Xian is not happy to hear that, so he takes a cucumber and throws it to her. She dodges it easily, but in Yi Xian's hand is a strand of her hair. Langshu is surprised that he can cut her hair just by using a cucumber and realizes that he is a swordsman. Yi Xian replies by complimenting her soft hair. Impressed by his cucumber, Langshu takes back what she said and compliments Yi Xian for being a swordsman at such a young age. Later on, they finally reach the gate of the household. Langshu is greeted by the great elder along with Yi Lang and the clan members. The siblings, on the other hand, were ordered to go away by the great elder. Yi Xian responds by asking him why he cares while throwing the cucumber at his face. Miss On questions the scenario. Yi Lang explains that Yi Xian is an arrogant and a talentless person. He comments that Yi Xian has made a mockery of himself by challenging him to a life-or-death fight. This comment has led Langshu to question his identity. The great elder reveals that he is Yi Lang, the chosen one and the person she is looking for. While waving at her, Yi Lang admires her beauty, thinking that it was not in vain for him to reincarnate. And that once she learns about the prince's cruelty, she will soon yield to him. Langshu pointed her spear at the great elder for declaring that Yi Lang is a chosen one. She insulted Yi Lang and compared his realm to that of a bubble. Yi Lang gets angered by her remarks and requests clarification regarding her intended message. She proceeds to explain that Yi Lang lacks the necessary qualifications to compete with her. Yi Lang prepares a punch while challenging her to take it if he is truly not qualified. The great elder warns him, and with a quick swing of her spear, she forms a dragon that intimidated him. Yi Lang realizes that this is a spear intent and questions how she can understand it at such a young age. She comments on Yi Lang being a coward for not daring to proceed with his attack and calls him a reincarnated trash. Langshu insults the elders while reminding Yi Xian about their meetup in 2 days. As the sibling watches her leave, the great elder concerningly asked Yi Lang if he was okay. Yi Lang tells him to get out for interrupting him during the fight. Moments later, Yi Xian asked his master about Miss On. She replies that Yi Xian and his sister are as good as her. Especially his sister. This comment excites Yi Xian and he proceeds to ask if Ling Er is better than Langshu. The master scolds him for being too close and stops him from asking any further. She instructs him to cultivate a sword technique to further increase his strength. Sword techniques are a type of martial art, and the Yi family's best martial arts are only at the human level. The master gave him a technique that is called "One Sword Determines the Life and Death," with a rank that is relative to his conviction in the way of the sword. This made Yi Xian extremely pleased, so he tried to hug his master, but his master avoided it. She encourages him to train instead of being too happy. Yi Xian agrees, and after 2 days, the stage for Yi Xian and Yi Lang is finally set at the plaza. Her sister urges her brother to check out the arena. Yi Xian realizes that the Yi family is trying to show off in order to make Yi Lang stand out. This causes Lon Air to comment on the elders for being biased. The crowd notices that the city lord, the Zhang family, as well as the Li family, are going to watch the fight. This caught Yi Xian's attention, and they decided to watch the scene. At the center of the crowd's attention are the 2 patriarchs and the lord of the city. The great elder greeted the guests and invited them to have a seat as the fight is about to begin. At this moment, Yi Lang notices that someone is staring at him. True enough, among the crowd, Yi Xian is looking at him while giving him the mosaic finger. This causes Yi Lang to be worked up, but the great elder stops him. Yi Lang agrees, knowing that the fight is about to begin. Standing at the elevated platform, the great elder introduces the fighters. The guests commented on how the Yi family is shallow-minded for suppressing a genius like Yi Xian. Not hearing what they said, the great elder announces the beginning of the fight, and that once they are inside the arena, only their skills will determine their life or death, and that no one is allowed to interfere. Inside the arena, both fighters momentarily stares at each other. Yi Lang was about to run his mouth, but Yi Xian introduces his fist to his face. This causes Yi Lang to be thrown away by the force as the crowd expresses their surprise that Yi Lang was defeated in one punch. The great elder accuses him of sneakily attacking his opponent. Yi Xian mocks the elder from below as he retorts that the match has already begun. The guest of the match also agreed with Yi Xian, stating that it was the elder who shouted that the match had already begun. This pisses off the elder as he wonders why they are helping Yi Xian. Yi Lang interrupts the scene by saying that he was careless and that he will show the difference between an ant and a genius. As he shows off his qi, the crowd realizes that Yi Lang is already in the imperial qi realm, which impresses the crowd, calling him a super genius. They determine that Yi Xian is about to lose, but his sister encourages him from the side. As Yi Lang charges at him, Yi Xian prepares his smoking fist, which he used to send Yi Lang flying away and ending the fight. All the guests exclaim their surprise as they realize that Yi Xian was hiding his true strength all along. The great elder catches the falling Yi Lang while accusing Yi Xian of cheating. He orders the servant to kill Yi Xian, but Loner denies his claim. The crowd agrees with her, stating that they should not compete if they are afraid of losing. The elder calls them a peasant and calls out for the guards, but is interrupted by the patriarch of the Yi family, informing Yi Xian that the great elder has been demoted to a regular elder. He asked Yi Xian to forget about everything since he's the prince. Yi Xian surprises the patriarch by revealing his awareness about the fact that the patriarch was the one behind everything, and now he wants to use Yi Xian to threaten the great elder to further strengthen his position. Knowing all this, Yi Xian declines the offer of being the prince of the family. The patriarch is not flattered by this, and he announces that Yi Xian has betrayed the family and that he will personally execute him. As he was declaring his goal, a thunderous spear was thrown between the two. The lord recognized the owner of the spear. Lan Shu greeted the city lord, and she proceeds to float towards her spear where Yi Xian was waiting. She informs him that the time has come for them to fight. The great elder questions Lang Shu on why he wants to fight a loser like Yi Xian, and she replies by threatening to kill the old man if she hears another word from him. Yi Xian agrees with her as he conjures a sword from his hand. The two patriarchs realize that Yi Xian is actually a swordsman as the tall patriarch laughs at the Yi family for forcing a sword cultivator genius out of their household. Next to Loner is the city lord, who talks to her and informs her that it was probably her brother who caused the vision. Among all this, The patriarch of the Yi family is scolding the great elder after knowing that Yi Xian is actually a sword cultivator. He blames the elder for ruining his family. The elder retorts that it was the patriarch who agreed to abolish Yi Xian and dethrone him from his previous position. The patriarch didn't like what he said, but the elder tries to calm the patriarch by suggesting to control Yi Xian by abducting his sister. The patriarch calls him a blind old dog as he points out that the city lord is already protecting Loner. The two start the fight by charging at each other. Their weapon collides and she follows up by using her spear intent, which causes Yi Xian to be without a weapon. She continues her attack by thrusting her spear at her opponent. Yi Xian managed to dodge the attack, and with the opportunity, he managed to hold the spear, which allowed him to pull Lan Shu to his embrace. Yi Xian apologizes as he explodes himself along with Lan Shu. The explosion caused his sister to be worried about him, but the city lord assured her. After the smoke clears out, we see Yi Xian on top of Lan Shu while holding her melon. Yi Xian realizes his mistake, so he took his hand off. Lan Shu kicks him away as she orders him to get off. Yi Xian apologizes for what happened and explains that he didn't mean to touch her. Lan Shu explains that she's not that petty and compliments him for being good at close combat, revealing that she had to use her realm advantage for the last kick that she did. The worried sister hugs him as he assures her about his well-being. Since he already left the household, Lan Shu invited him to the Kongmu Academy and notifies him that she wants to fight again in a few days. Yi Xian tells her that he is not capable of being admitted to the academy, but Lan Shu throws him a jade pendant that belongs to her lady. She tells him that the pendant will allow him to enter the academy, and Yi Xian looks at the pendant with the hope that her sister will be cured by the academy. The great elder kneels in despair as he hears the name of the academy. The patriarch orders the guard to destroy his dantian and throw him in the dungeon. Under the moon of the night, we see Yi Lang sitting in the corner as he promises his revenge on Yi Xian. Suddenly, Yi Xian apologizes as he immediately cuts off the root of the problem, leaving the corpse behind. Unknown to him, Lan Shu, along with an elder, is actually observing his deed. She asked the elder about Yi Xian, and the elder praises him for being decisive but concludes that they are worlds apart and that he is not worthy of her. Lan Shu comments that the elder is overreacting and that no one in the world is capable of taking her heart.